I am finally at Iguazu Falls, one of the most magnificent waterfalls in the world, and I'm at the ticket office. I've just bought my ticket. It's 134 reals. It's a very busy place. So I got the 120 bus after yesterday's little fiasco, and it was quite simple. I found the bus route on the Move It app. I got to the bus station and it cost me 5 real to get here. So you just go to the ticket booth. It was easy. There was a guy next to us helping us, which was really helpful. And all I've got to do is go to number 3. Now there's only so many people allowed on the buses, so you're given a embarkation time. It's all quite simple. So I was in the queue to try and get the bus, but I've just realised that boarding is for 10:30. My boarding time is 11 o'clock, so it's a case of waiting for the next 15-20 minutes before I go. So Iguazu Falls, I wasn't planning on going. I saw it about 10 years ago, and it's still fresh in my mind as being one of the most amazing waterfalls I've ever seen. But that was the Argentinian side, and I've had so many people over the last few weeks telling me I need to go to Iguazu Falls, and I've given in. So it's also helped to the many people who have actually donated to my Buy Me a Coffee page, which has helped me afford this. Now, I am doing the Brazilian side because I've done the Argentinian side before, as I said, and I've been told online and by the people who have been here before, the Brazilian side is probably better for visual. When I was at the Argentinian side, when you get to the waterfalls, you get wet, and unfortunately my camera, the DJI Pocket 3, is not waterproof at all. So I am going to the dry side. Plus on the Argentinian side, there's not a chance that you'll be able to enjoy it on the screen as much as I would, which is why, again, Brazilian side. Right, just arrived at the start of the national park, just got off the bus. It's a 20-minute ride. Very slow, but takes it into the national park, and there is the map, and it's saying it's about a 90-minute walk to the waterfalls. 90 minutes? Wow. Now everybody seems to be either walking that way or behind me, and there's a hotel right at the start. That's not going to be cheap, is it? So I have been warned that there are places around here that will not be dry because of the waterfalls itself, and because of that I have got a waterproof bag to put my camera in just in case, and then I've got my Insta 360, which is waterproof but not as good. Oh wow. Now I have been told that I say wow a lot, but that is a wow moment. Oh, that is so cool. I'm going to try and get closer. That is gorgeous. And if you look down underneath the waterfall, there's a boat. That's how close you can get to the waterfalls. So I've just asked one of the kiosk girls how long it is to get down here, which we had got to go. Basically she said, follow everybody else, it's about 20 minutes and you'll get various viewpoints along the way. And she did say there's various animals along the way as well, hopefully. So you will get viewpoints like this. Now compared to the Monday Falls I was in a few days ago in Paraguay, when there was about 8 people, so you could actually enjoy the waterfalls. But there's hundreds of people here, if not more. Oh. So obviously, Iguazu Falls sits on the border of Brazil and Argentina, so that's Argentina over there. They are considered the largest waterfall system in the world. And they reckon there's about 275 individual waterfalls. So I'm walking a bit slower than everybody else so they can just go ahead and do their stuff, so I don't have loads of people around us while I see all this lot. Look at that. So the name Iguazu comes from the Guarani and indigenous people. Basically means E is big, Iguazu is water, big water, and basically it is big water. God. Just in the distance over there you can see the Argentinian flag. So they've got a walkway that goes all the way along. And 8% of the waterfalls is actually in Argentina. And another viewpoint. Absolutely gorgeous. And as you're walking around, the views are just getting better and better. Beautiful. And down there is one of the boats from earlier. Actually takes you into the waterfall itself. I don't think my camera could have survived that. And the viewpoint takes you towards the major one over there. Now I'm getting closer to, in fact you can see the mist building up just there. And I'm hoping that my camera is going to be okay. I don't have to get my little miniature one out first. Wow. I mean that is really spectacular. And this is the quiet part. A lot of people have walked further on, and there's a load of people behind us at the last viewpoint. They're all jostling, trying to get the best photograph, the best video, and I think I've beaten them to it. So the very first European that came across this, oh, and there's a viewpoint where there's nobody there. It's unusual. And this is why it's quiet, because there's not much of a view. Well, there's a view, but that's the big boy I want to see. Right, in the distance there you can see a footbridge which takes you out closer to the waterfall. So that's where I'm heading for right now. It's a good little walk, this is. I've not seen any animals yet, apart from a couple of birds, hummingbirds. So the first European that came across these falls was the Spanish explorer Alvar Núñez Gabas de Vaca, and I do apologise if I've pronounced that really badly. So it was in 1541, and as an explorer he probably came along these and went, my god, they're nice. Oh, you can just see that's going to be impressive when I get down there. And as you can see from all the people right here, it's going to be a bit impossible to try and get out, especially with these lot taking photographs. Right, try and get through this lot. I can feel the mist coming off the waterfalls. I'm hoping there's not going to be too much damage to my camera. But that is beautiful. So beautiful. And right in the water just there, there's a egret. Now I'm taking my time to get across this because the amount of people that are just stopping in front of me. I am being very gentle, very kind, and smiling at every one of them as best as I can. So this point is called Devil's Throat, and look at the amount of water that's coming down here. Wow. That is amazing. This is nature at its best. And I'm still using my camera. The mist that I was expecting is not as strong. I mean, over there. That would be crazy. That would be very wet. Obviously you can see that the videos I've just taken were perfect, but to get it in front of all these annoying people, very rude, very in your face, move out the way please, you're just taking a video. It's getting so annoying just to take a couple of shots. It gets to a point where obviously that place over there is where you get the best shots of Devil's Throat and all that lot. Like, instead of wanting to punch people, like the easiest place is just to walk away and just, oh. But this is a quiet area. Now up there is an escalator that can take you down to a closer area. So I've managed to get another decent spot. I've been here for about 2 minutes just taking it all in. The Devil's Throat. And the bird is still there. So I've come across from over there to another view of Iguazu Falls, a bit closer. There's no mist, but you can feel the power. You can hear the water. Wow. And behind me is the elevator. So I don't think you do have to pay for it. But there is a queue. And I don't want to queue too much. Basically it just takes you down to there. So you're not going too far down. Wow. That is some power. So I decided to take the elevator, but it didn't go down to the bottom. It actually goes up to the top, where you get a better view, another view of the Iguazu Falls from a height. And the elevator was free. Didn't have to pay anything. So over there are the waterfalls I saw when I first arrived, and it is getting bigger and better as you move forward to get to these lots. And here's some wildlife. Now I think these are called coatis. They're like a raccoon and they like food. That was trying to get the bread between the rails there. Now they are cute. There's one over there. And there's one just going down the stairs down there. But I don't know how close you can get to these. They've got some sharp claws. Yeah, mate. Got his own little seat. Hello, mate. I've got no food, sorry. No, that's a close-up. And the reason there's so many of these coatis around here is the fact that it's a cafe. So there's people sitting down and they're just coming up to you, eating the food. Now I got myself a little coffee, which came to about £3, £3. And I sat over there and there's someone had left some rubbish behind. And that's why that one came up to me. Got a bit too close. So it's time for me to head off. There's another bit of a view, I think. Not really. But during high water flow, obviously during the winter time with lots of rain, there's up to 12 million litres of water per second that can pass through these falls. That's a lot of water. Now I'm led to believe that this path goes to the bus stop that takes you back to the ticket office. I hope. And I know there's another viewpoint so you can see the top of the river before it cascades down. That's a good word, cascade. And this is the final stop. This is, I mean the trees are in the way so you can't see much. But that's like the calm before the storm. The water flowing very slowly before it cascades down into the wilderness. But that's been Iguazu Falls. It's been well worth it. I've now seen the Argentinian side 10 years ago and then this side today. Both sides in the 10-year period. But I would recommend that the Brazilian side is more picturesque. You see more of it. Whereas on the Argentinian, you're actually in it, immersed. So I'm glad I've come here and thank you for all the people who donated money for me to come here. I need to go back. It is now coming up to 3:15. I've been here a long time. And apologies for me getting a little bit angry in the middle with all the tourists. But tomorrow is a new day and I am off somewhere new. I am heading north into the inland of Brazil. I'm still trying to work out where I'm going to go, and that's going to be done tonight with a map of some sort. But if you've enjoyed this little trip around Iguazu, then press that like button. If you want to see more of Brazil going north, then subscribe if you already haven't. But until next time, I'm off to get a bus back. Bye bye for now.